محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Inshallah, today is the birth of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, so I will be reciting some nasheed in that occasion. Inshallah, we all have the opportunity to visit the shrines of all our imams, and inshallah, all of us have the opportunity to go to Hajj, visit Jannatul Baqi, so we can visit our dear imams. I'll start with صلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
لعذب الله أمي إنها شربت، لعذب الله أمي إنها شربت حب الوصي وغذتنيه باللبن، حب الوصي وغذتنيه باللبن. If you can recite from home, from your homes, this beautiful poem in the name of our imams. لعذب الله أمي إنها شربت، لعذب الله أمي إنها شربت حب الوصي وغذتنيه باللبن، حب الوصي وغذتنيه باللبن. وكان لي والد يهوى أبا حسن، وكان لي والد يهوى أبا حسن، فصرت من ذي وذا أهوى أبا حسن، فصرت من ذي وذا أهوى أبا حسن. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على
محمد وآل
محمد. Thank you.
Ahsan. Good.
Ahsan. Thank you. Good evening again, and welcome to the Islamic House of Wisdom nightly Ramadan program. I like to remind you that our services begin at noon with meal distribution and food distribution at Islamic House of Wisdom. As you well know, most of our services have shifted to humanitarian services at the center. And and the food is distributed from 12 until the time it runs out. If you need the food, or somebody, your neighbors or anybody that needs it, they can pick it up from there. At 2 p.m. Holy Quran recitation, and from 6 to 7 Thursday, Sunday, Youth of Wisdom Zoom interactive program. The nightly program begins at 9:30 with dua iftitah. I think tonight they may have recited dua Kumail, because it's a Friday. That was yesterday. Anyway, and then we continue with the nightly program at 10 p.m. as we're doing right now. And I would like to welcome to the program today our Samahat Sayyid, Dr. Sayyid Nabi Abidi from California. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid. You're still muted. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us from California. You're about 2 hours from iftar or something like that, and I'm sorry we can't play the adhan for you.
Good weather. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidina. Alaikum salam. Very welcome. Very welcome.
And before you start your speech with us, please tell us a little bit more about you and the center where you are and some of your activities there. بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي أنطقني بالهدى والهمني التقوى برحمتك أرحم الراحمين. ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية الإكرام على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين والشهداء والصالحين والصديقين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: وهو أصدق الحديث. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك ونحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. صدق الله وصدق رسوله وصدق ولي الكريم. صلوات اللهم صل على
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
First and foremost, I would like to extend my tabrikat, tahiyat, my best wishes. Congratulations to you all and all the Muslim Ummah for the month of Ramadan al-Mubarak. And also tonight we are celebrating Milad and birth of beloved Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba Ruhi wa Arwahul Alamin al-Maqdam al-Fida. I would like to extend my tabrikat to all of you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us his shafa'at on the judgment day and include us among those who got the ma'rifat and shafa'at of Ahlul Bayt and Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba Kareem Ahlul Bayt, inshallah. I would like to thank Maulana Elahi and the management of House of Wisdom. And it's my honor and privilege to be here with you. And I would like to thank all the audience, also those who are watching at this time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all in this blessed month, and especially while we are going through the pandemic COVID-19 situation, and we make our homes as our masajid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us, inshallah. A little bit about me, as brother mentioned. I'm Al-Haqir Abidi, Sayyid Rida Abidi. I'm Imam of Masjid, our Islamic Center of Sabah. And also we have different activities, including Kisa Foundation, Kisa Kids Present Project, and also humanitarian, the services and so on and so forth. And we have full-time school, Sunday school, and also we have online activities and so on and so forth. I'm here from last 18 years in same Islamic Center. This is a few points about me. You need anything else, or I should go?
Very welcome, Sayyidina. Very welcome. And I know that a friend of mine sends me a link every day, and that includes your daily recitation of the daily du'as, and the art of expression, the way that you make a short lecture all the time. Of course, we don't want you to be short tonight, though, but in general, that you do the dua and you translate it in English and explain it. It's very spiritual and very informative, very educational, and we are so happy to have you with us today. As you mentioned, this COVID-19, though, stopped our gatherings, but at the same time opened a gate of opportunity for all of us to have this outreach to kind of international audience now. And the fact that we have you from California, and such a blessing night and blessing occasion. I want to add to Said Khalil, the moderator, Said Khalil Hashem, that he mentioned that we know it's almost end of the day in California, and you are speaking while you are fasting. And after Friday's sermons and all of this, we really appreciate and we welcome you to our Ramadan program, and we are 100% ready to listen and enjoy your presentation. And as Sayed mentioned, after the introduction, we would have more time to chat and talk about this occasion, or if there was any other question or comment, we would cover that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jazakumullah. Thank you for your kind words, and I don't deserve all of that, but I take as a barakah from you, Shaykh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and your family. Jazakumullah.
Thank you.
Let's begin with Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba Ruhi wa Arwahul Alamina li Maqdam al-Fida. When we talk and discuss about our second Imam, Imam Hassan, we can talk and discuss from different aspects of the life of the second Imam, including his biography, about his place of birth, significance of the time of birth, and so on and so forth. That's one of the kind of discussion we can have. But more than anything, what I want to focus in today's discussion is the link and connection between Imam and Ma'mum. We as, as a Ma'mum, he as our Imam, what is the connection today we can find to be plugged in and connected so we can call that he is our Imam, I'm his true follower and believer and Ma'mum. All of us, we know that Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, Ruhi wa Arwahul Alim al-Maghdul Fida, his birth is 15th of Ramadan al-Mubarak and 3rd after Hijrah. While noble Prophet of Islam, he was preparing for lots of things, including battles, building the community, knowing that he's a lost messenger, preserving Quran and also his message and so on and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed noble Prophet of Islam, the first grandson, which is the mistaq and true manifestation of the Surah Al-Kawthar, Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. And it was a turning point in Islamic history that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed Imam Hassan to noble Prophet of Islam, he was the first one to have this privilege that his father is Ma'asum, his mother is Ma'asum, and he was in such a critical time and era. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had a plan for this great moment. Then when we talk and discuss about Imam, we have to understand that the compatibility between us as a Ma'mum and Imam should be established. When we go from this world, we have a beautiful tradition to recite Talqeen. Talqeen is a traditional when we lay down the body of a person as a last, our rituals to take care before we bury the body, to recite Talqeen. In that Talqeen, what we say? One of the sentence is after we say, Isma' ifham, hal anta ala al-ahd alladhi faraqtana alayhi min shahadat Allah ilaha illallah, and so on and so forth. When we go furthermore, what we ask from the body is, hal anta ala al-ahd alladhi faraqtana alayhi. Are you with same covenant and promise you made to your Lord? What is that? Who is your Lord? Who is your Rasul? Who is your Imam? What's your book? What's your Qibla? Basically, these are the questions. And one of the questions, who is your Imam? When we say, my Imam is Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain, we're not talking about historical personalities, those who changed the course of history, or those who left a legacy. We're not talking about a simple people, those who rule or govern or left a legacy. In fact, we're talking about Imam and Qa'ids, who is my leader now, my Imam now. I'm his follower. Therefore, we as a Shi'ia, we are the true ambassador and follower of our Imams. House of Wisdom, all these Islamic centers are considered as what? As embassies. And we as ambassadors, I commend the House of Wisdom for having such a great humanitarian services for the community to show the true face of Islam in this part of the world. So here, when we talk and discuss about the identity of our Imam Hassan Mujtaba, it's not about he was praying 5 daily prayers, he was praying mustahab prayers, he was offering everyday fasting even before, beside the month of Ramadan, he was going Hajj and all of that. That's not his identity. His identity is what? Husnul khulq. His great manners. When he was dealing with the people, they used to recognize him as a husnul khulq, Hasan, Ihsan, Muhsin. So these are the things people, they recognize and remember him. Not about only rituals. Yes, rituals are the foundational thing. Prayers and fastings, all of that. That's not the identity of our imams. If I want to be his follower, I have to understand that the core aspect of being followed by imam is I need to change my akhlaq. In this great month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begins the blessing of the Qadr from the 15th of Ramadan, which blessing of the Milad of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba. So we can be ready and prepare for the night of Qadr. Once we want to enter in Sahat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, once we take Quran, once we want to put Quran on our head, because ya Allah, we need to understand that I'm ready and prepared. And I came to you, O Allah, with complete submission, and I have no grudges, no animosity, nothing in my heart. So that is a kind of muqaddama. We need to have a great link between me as a follower, Imam Hassan as my Imam. Let's go back to the history. It's a big myth or big misconception among the people that the hadith which quoted by noble Prophet of Islam, even our Ahl Sunnah brothers also, they quote this hadith. You can see in Sahih Sitta, this hadith, Inna al-Hassan wal-Husayn imaman qama aw qa'ada. Hassan and Hussein, both of them will be imams of my ummah, whether they stand or they do sulh. That's what loosely translated. And then what they do is, Hassan was doing sulh, qa'ada, and Hussein was battling against Yazid, qama. This is a big misconception. The true face of Hassan and Hussein, both of them, they had 10 years to be imam. Imamat, duration of the imamat of both imams are 10 years. For Imam Hassan, from the year of 40 Hijri, after the Shahadat of Imam Ali, till the 50 Hijri, till the Shahadat of Imam Hassan. And for Imam Hussein, the duration of the imamat is from the 50th of Hijri, from the Shahadat of Imam Hassan, till the 61 Hijri, Muharram, till the Shahadat of Imam Hussein. If you see, both imams, they had 6 months time of fighting and 10 years, 9.5 years plus minus, time of sulh. But the difference is Imam Hassan, in the beginning, he stand against the corruption. And after 6 months, he engaged in peace treaty following noble Prophet of Islam with Sulh al-Hudaybiyah for 9.5 years. Imam Hussein, he honored the same treaty of his brother for 9.5 years. But last 6 months, from 28th of Rajab, 60th Hijri, till 10th of Muharram, 6 months, he fought against corruption. So both Imam, Qama and Qa'da. So now, you wonder that what happened. Imam Hassan, although Ruhi wa arwahul alamina li maqdam al-fida, he had a big challenges. But after the shahadat of his father, beloved Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Hassan, when he was giving this speech on the day of Eid al-Fitr, tens of thousands of people, they gather from around the globe to pledge the allegiance to Imam Hassan Mujtaba. Ruhi wa arwahul alamina li maqdam al-fida. But when Imam Hassan was going to fight against the corruption, fitna, led by all those forces, which is written in Tariq al-Tabari and Ibn Athir and so on and so forth, the army of Imam Hassan was 10 times more than Muawiyah. Subhanallah. You can go these Shia sources or Sunni sources, 10 times more than the army of Muawiyah. So what happened? Why he ended up having the peace treaty, Sulh? The point here is the betrayal of the people, those who are so-called loyal to Imam Hassan. You wonder that how the dynasty of Bani Abbas begins. Because Bani Umayyah, we know that from the dream of Bani Umayyah begins from not only Muawiyah, but even from Abu Sufyan. So we know that 90 plus years they governed, and they had all those corruptions, including the event of Karbala and so on and so forth. But the Bani Abbas dynasty begins from where? From the betrayal of Imam Hassan. How is that? Abbas, the uncle of Holy Prophet, he had two sons, Abdullah and Ubaidullah. Abdullah and Ubaidullah, both of them Hafiz and Qari of Quran, Mufassir of Quran, great speakers, scholars, all the qualities you can imagine they had. However, Abdullah, they stayed with Haqq till the end, but Ubaidullah, he betrayed Imam Hassan. How? Ubaidullah was the governor of beloved Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen to the people of Yemen. Subhanallah. Ubaidullah was governor of Imam Ali to the people of what? Yemen. Muawiyah, his group of guerrilla people, to his castle or his home and to kill him and to hijack whole the region, to weaken the Imam Ali alayhi salam. When Muawiyah did that, a person called Dinar Dimashqi, he came with the group of people nighttime, and they attacked the house of Ubaidullah in Yemen. The moment Ubaidullah finds out, he ran away from home. When he ran away from his home, the group of people from Muawiyah, headed by Dinar Dimashqi, they capture his home and they enter in his home, and they saw that his wife with two children, one is 6-month baby, one is 2-year-old baby, Muhammad and Abdullah, right? And when they attack to the house, she was alone with two children. They took first baby, 2 years. Abdullah said, "Where is your husband?" She was crying. She said, "I know nothing about him. Just he ran away from here." They thought that no, she knows, and so on and so forth. And then what they did is they took the first son and they chopped in 2 pieces. He died in front of the mother. The second son, they throw on the, up in the air, and they took the sword. And the moment they did, the baby came, and baby second one also become Shaheed, died, both of them. And then they searched and they couldn't find, and they ran away, right? Morning, or when Ubaidullah came back, he saw, and even mother, after a few days, she died. Tariq ibn Athir also quoted this incident. Subhanallah. This is the ibrah. This is what we're talking about, Imam Hassan, the link. Then what happened is, when Imam Ali, Ubaidullah came, and he saw after a few days, his wife also, she died because of this pain. She couldn't take anymore. Ubaidullah went to Imam Ali, crying and complaining. Imam Ali comforted him, and he said, "Oh Ubaidullah, ittaqillah, fear Allah, and know that it's a very important that you should not lose your faith and iman. Don't trade your faith and iman." He said, "How could? Ya Ali, see what they did, right? This happened." Next thing is, Imam Ali al-Islam was Shaheeds. Next thing is, Imam Hassan is Khalifa and Imam. And when Imam Hassan was going to fight against the corruption, fitna, Imam Hassan, he saw that the best person to be commander-in-chief is Ubaidullah, because he was well connected. He knows the pain. He was the most eloquent in speeches. He was Hafiz, he was Mudir, Mudabbir, Mufassir, Qari, and you name it, all the qualities. So with all these qualities, Imam Hassan make him to be a commander-in-chief of the army of Imam Hassan. Same Dinar Dimashqi, the one who killed two of his sons, he comes, he says that, "I want to offer you 50,000 dirham." He said, "No, no way. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400, 500,000, 500,000 dirham back then, a huge amount. Right now, kind of hundreds of millions, right?" He took that and he betrayed Imam Hassan. He left. Subhanallah. Just imagine, when we talk about Khuluq Hassan, the one who has this quality, great quality of wafa, being loyal, not betraying, having good akhlaq, has come from this, the connection between us and Imam Hassan, right? So, brothers and sisters, I would like to bring to attention that if Ubaidullah can make a deal and ruin his akhirah, trade himself for a small nothing, subhanallah, what about us? Yes, all of us, we are subject to be deviated from the right path. As Hazrat Yusuf, ala nabina alayhi alaf at-tahiyat wa thana, in Surah Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quoted from Hazrat Yusuf, he says, "Inna nafsa la'ammaratun bis-su' illa ma rahima rabbi." Subhanallah. Yes, our nafs ammara, our desires can lead towards every evil, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. So brothers and sisters, when we talk about Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, although he is mazloom from all the angles, but his mazloomiyat is not only that people, they betray him, he has to go to treaty and so on and so forth, but what his mazloomiyat is still today, not lots of people, they know about Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba. I was walking in the streets of Mecca and Medina. I'm sure Imam Elahi, you also, you had a privilege to walk on the street. You see the tens of libraries. You go there, you'll find hundreds of books about Imam Hassan Mujtaba, but none of those books are talking about truth. One of the books, when I open, Hayatul Hassan, I thought that Alhamdulillah is good. When I was flipping one of the pages, is he had 2,000 women. This is a virtue of Imam Hassan, or you're destroying the personality of Imam Hassan? Oh, he was marrying and divorcing, marrying and divorcing. This is what they're talking about. Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, about whom noble prophet of Islam said, Inna al-Hassan al-Hussein Sayyada Shababi Ahlil Jannah. This is what the personality of Sayyada Shabab Ahlil Jannah. My question is, where is the life of Imam Hassan after the shahadat rahlat of noble prophet of Islam? Because all what we know is great hadith and riwayats and the history at the time of noble prophet of Islam. He's praising, Ma yantiqu anil hawa in huwa illa wahyun yuha. He speak nothing but wahy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's praising left and right, and we know nothing about Imam Hassan Mujtaba till the sulh, and then after sulh he had 2,000 women. That's what the history says. That's what the life of Imam Hassan. Subhanallah. I would like to stop here. This is a fruit for thought for all of you, those who are watching. My humble request to you is, when we are celebrating Milad and birth of noble Imam, Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, go and have some special moment between you and Imam. Whether he is my Imam in my practical life, or just I say it as a word because we praise everyone, every Tom and Harry. That is the case, or really his Imam. If he is my Imam, do I follow him? He is my Imam in my prayers, in my fastings, dealing my with brothers, in my home, subhanallah. His wife, the one who poisoned him, he did not dealt with her differently. Subhanallah. Even Ja'ada bint Ash'ath, she has a poetry regretting after she poisoned Imam Hassan later on, when Muawiyah did not honor his promises whatsoever. She said that I cherish those days, I wish I could not do that, and so on and so forth. Subhanallah. But Imam Hassan, he was dealing with his wife, his akhlaq towards enemies, those who come and those who disrespected him. But his reaction, his muamala, his dealing with the people is what make me to be a ma'amoom, not what I said. So if you asked me to go for 20-25 minutes, so 20 minutes here, I'm going to stop for any question, because otherwise, as our Sheikh mentioned, when we begin to speak, it's very difficult to control ourselves. But Alhamdulillah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been wonderful, wonderful presentation, and I think that details about the history of Abna al-Abbas, both Abdullah and Ubaidullah, and the propaganda against Ahlul Bayt in general. I think both Bani Umayyah and Bani al-Abbas, unfortunately, Bani Umayyah for 90 years, 90, almost 100 years, the propaganda machine of Bani Umayyah and the way that they were treating the treatment of Ahlul Bayt, and followed with Bani al-Abbas, that the history of Bani al-Abbas is like almost 5 times more than Bani Umayyah. Bani Umayyah almost 100 years, but Bani al-Abbas, they were ruling the Muslim world for 500 years. And these 600 years followed with other caliphs and other kings till today, the 21st century, that we see the continuity of injustice. So really it's amazing that, as you were explaining, Sayyidina, that, you know, when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said that huma imaman qama aw qa'ada. They are blessed with the light of leadership. They are your leaders. They are your imams under any circumstances. And then you mentioned that he says, Sayyida Shabab Ahl Jannah. They are the masters of the youth of paradise. And he used any opportunity to say that, Allahumma inni uhibbuhuma. I love Hassan and Hussein. فأحب من أحبهما أو فأحبهما. Oh God, you would love them as well. And من أحبهما فقد أحبني. Whoever loves these two Sayyid, their love is my love. I mean, then you wonder that how come people claim that they are the ummah of the same prophet, they are the followers of the same messenger, and they don't try and they don't show love for the people that the prophet showed love. And when he says that I love them, and if you love them, you love me, I mean, the statement is very clear, absolutely perfectly clear. So how can I say that I love Prophet Muhammad, but then doing so much damage, so much injustice, so much abuse, whether verbally with what you said, that all this accusation and all these lies and all these false statements about Ahlul Bayt, about Imam Hassan, or injustice in physical form, that they poisoned them, they killed them, they massacred them. I mean, it's just so amazing that people claim to be part of the Ummah and then deal with the family of the Prophet in such an unjust way. Unfortunately, the Ummah at this time are paying the price for that kind of treatment that started with the family of the Prophet right after the Prophet's departure, to the point that even now, 1400 years later, there are people, of course, we know it's not the majority of Muslims. The majority of Muslims, they love Ahlul Bayt, whether they are Shi'ia, whether they are Sunni. They say in their salat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Everybody is saying it. But there are extremists, ignorant, Khawarij, Nasibis, people of hatred, that obviously they don't tolerate even Qubur al-Aimma. I mean, they go and they destroy even the shrines of Ahlul Bayt. I mean, that much hatred and animosity, and at the same time claiming of Islam and continuing to kill the Ahlul Bayt. Obviously, they don't represent the Sunnah, they don't represent Islam, they don't represent the Ummah Islamiyah, because we know that, you know, we live in this country now, we Shia and Sunni, we have code of honor, and we know that everybody loves Ahlul Bayt. But at the same time, we know that Ahlul Bayt in general and Imam Hassan in particular is so madloom. It was suffering from so much injustice. I know that Said Khalil is there, and Dr. Fraz Hamadat, we thank you because you were the one who organized the meeting of Sayyidina and put this evening service together by arranging and communicating with Sayyidina. And we are very grateful of you, Dr. Fraz, as well, for this coordination. I have a lot to say about the good points that the Sayyid mentioned, but I'd like you to go ahead and get part of this conversation and let us have a dialogue about Al-Imam Al-Hassan, about Ahlul Bayt, and the points that are beneficial for our community and our listeners and our watchers.
Thank you, Imam Elahi. Thank you, Maulana Abidi, for the inspiring speech as well. And I had the chance to meet Dr. Abidi the first time in 2010 during a visit to California while I was on a project in Silicon Valley. And I was first stricken by the multicultural aspect of the Saba Center in San Jose, where Imam Abidi ran the different service and had the different services there. And I remember there were programs in 4 languages running at the same time during the different religious occasion. And that was something new for me. And I was happy about it. Then also I had to come back to California in 2013 and 2014, and also met again Dr. Abidi. And I was happy to see also in that that they are pretty education oriented in their services. I like pretty much I like the house, the Islamic House of Wisdom. There is a big in common. When
we begin to remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who has the power. That yes, cause and effect, it exists, no problem.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm hearing some background voice. So my question is for Dr. Abidi, that do you think are there enough work in comparing the data that we have, the historical data, enough work in that comes from the different books of the Sunni school of thought, notably mainly the 4 or the 6 Sihah and other books of Sirah that compile an accurate compilation of all the different accounts and ahadith from their source with the comparison with our source when it comes to Imam Hassan, and are there enough work to get to the heart of the truth in some controversial historical debates, whether it comes to war or the social aspect of it that you talked about? Are there enough work as you understand it? And if you can a little bit elaborate on that, if this is possible.
Thank you, Jazakallah, Dr. Fraz. May Allah bless you. You will come always, and you promise that you want to come back to San Jose, inshallah. So inshallah, the future. So anyhow,
he's in our board. We don't want to lose him. So don't encourage to go to California. We want to keep him in Michigan.
MashaAllah, inshallah, inshallah. So back to your question. We have to understand that we as a follower of a school of Ahlul Bayt, we believe that there is not a good enough justice served in the books of Ahl Sunnahs. The reasons, for example, one reason, we believe that the amount of ahadith in Sahih as-Sitta quoted by Abu Huraira or Ka'b Ahbar are compared to Imam Ali's ahadith and riwayat is 50 times more than ahadith of, they quoted from Imam Ali alayhi salam. So the question is, Imam Ali was with Holy Prophet more than Abu Huraira and Ka'b Ahbar. Ka'b Ahbar, he became Muslim after the Rahlat of Holy Prophet. Abu Huraira, he had only 6 months he spent with Holy Prophet. Or the some of the wives of Holy Prophet, those who spend less than 2-3 years, they have thousands of ahadith. When it comes to Fatima al-Zahra or Salma, we have 2 or 3 or 5 ahadith. So this itself shows the biased opinion. That's something we can talk and discuss. However, yes, still with all of that, we can find a great common ground. That common ground is about Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain. The amount of ahadith and riwayat from Holy Prophet quoted in Sahih Sitta is amazing, with all the biased opinion they had, but they quoted close to 700 hadith praising about Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain from Sahih Sitta, right? So we have that. So that is something, a common between Sunni and Shia. The problem is not that. The problem begins from where? After the Rahlat of Noble Prophet of Islam. The life of Imam Hassan Mujtaba was projected or manifested well in Sahih Sitta for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. After 7 years, till the Sulh treaty, his life is full of corruption. Na'udhu billah. Full of, I can just tell you that honestly, I or none of you guys, you want to be like the life which is presented in the books about Imam Hassan from his after the Rahlat of Holy Prophet till Sulh Hudaybiyah. None of you want to live like him, na'udhu billah, let alone to be imam or qa'id, right? So there is no common ground there. And even after Sulh, you can see lots of bumpy situation. So that's why only for first 7 years of the life of Imam Hassan, we have a common ground. But after the Rahlat of Holy Prophet, there is no common ground. The life, what we believe, is ma'soom, infallible from all the angles. And the way he lived, what we have in Ahadith and Riwayat is 360 different direction than what you can see in Sahih Sitta or any other books. There is a lots of reasons. I don't want to go back to the reasons, but this is what. But unfortunately, even the face of Imam Hassan, the way they present it for Sulh, is not a face what it should be or what we believe. The face we believe is Imam Hassan. He had no choice but to engage with all these conditions, and none of those conditions were honored and carried out by Muawiyah at all. So with these circumstances, these conditions, if anyone wants to see the complete picture, they cannot get that picture in the books what you mentioned.
Yeah,
Exactly. So because obviously they had the media. I mean, the people of power, they had control over the media of the time, and the media of the time was basically Friday prayers, the khutab, the sermons,
The Fox News.
mosque, right? There was their Fox News of Muawiyah. That's absolutely true, and the media was promoting the power of corruption and oppression and injustice. And obviously, they were not friendly with Ahlul Bayt. But something about Al-Imam al-Mujtaba that we all talk about was that, is Rajul al-Sulh wa Salam. You can call Imam al-Mujtaba Imam al-Muslihin. That really Ahlul Bayt were peacemakers, starting from Imam Ali, Imam Mujtaba, that even there was a hadith that from Holy Prophet that he actually mentioned that when he was talking about Imam Mujtaba, he said, لَعَلَّ اللَّهَ أَن يُصْلِحَ بِهِ بَيْنَ فِئَتَيْنِ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. So he was known as a leader who promoted peace. Not that he was scared of fighting with Muawiyah. Obviously, the Imam already participated in the Ma'arakat Jamal and Siffin and Nahrawan. He is the son of Imam Ali, and he's brother of Imam Hussein. كلهم نور واحد. They are all courageous and brave. But at the same time, they were against bloodshed. They didn't want to have fitna among the Muslims. They didn't want to see harb and fighting, a battle between the Muslims as much as they could. They were ready to sacrifice whatever they had to save the community and to save Muslims from fighting. But once a while, fighting was imposed on them. They were put in a situation like Imam Hussein. He didn't say that I'm going to go to fight in Karbala. He said, إني أريد الإصلاح الأمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. That is the purpose of me going there, to promote what is good and to stop what is wrong. أريد الإصلاح. I want to correct the thing. I want to make peace. But this was the people of power who could not tolerate Ahlul Bayt. They could not leave them live a peaceful life because they could not take them, whether out of jealousy, whether understanding their popularity, their wisdom, their leadership. They felt so down when they look at Ahlul Bayt, so they could not. And brutality was their behavior because that is the way that they could really satisfy their hiqd and their hatred against Ahlul Bayt. Was Imam Hassan is Imam al-Muslihin, is a rajul like an hilm. And what you said Sayyidina, in the beginning, that we as Atba Ahlul Bayt, the followers of Ahlul Bayt, are responsible. The word of Shi'ia is not just something to say with like a lip service, but something to do, something to demonstrate. Like really, if we love Imam Hassan, how much we practice Hilmul Hassan, like his patience, right? How much we practice his wisdom, how much we practice his generosity. We call Imam al-Hassan Kareem Ahlul Bayt, means he is known for his generosity, that always he used to give up whatever he had, not just to his friends, but to his enemies. People who hated him, hated Ahlul Bayt, they used to come to Imam Hassan and say, okay, what do you need? You need money, you need clothes, you need food, you need shelter, whatever you need. We are there to serve. So really, this is the Ahlul Bayt that we are talking about. But if we are saying Imam Hassan, but we are always angry, right? And we don't practice help. If we talk about Imam Hassan, but we are like careless of people who suffer from poverty, especially during this coronavirus, a lot of people lost their jobs. Today I saw that the top news in all the media was joblessness in the United States. Said Khalil, maybe know now how many, like millions of people who lost their job now?
Millions, I think somewhere
Millions
around
of people, this unemployment, right? People, I mean, unbelievable that people now, they wait for hours now just to get food. Probably you have it in California, in your mosque, we have it, House of Wisdom. That means that people, they need it. And it's unbelievable that the superpower comes to the situation that people now, they need the basic thing like food to eat, to survive. And so Imam al-Mujtaba was sensitive about the poor. And so how much we are showing the same sensitivity, not only poor in our neighborhood in Detroit, but poor all over. How many poor now in Syria, in Iraq, in Yemen, in Gaza, in Afghanistan, in Lebanon, in Libya, in other parts of the world. Soon we are going to hear even more from the Saudis, because now the oil is down and that's the only things they had. And now I heard that today Trump said that they are going to withdraw some of the military. I didn't follow exactly that. Some of those missiles that they had to, protect the Saudi oils, now they are saying that we don't want to do that because nobody thought that there is going to be because everybody was thinking that, let us put pressure on Iran. They cannot sell their oil, right? And they thought that if they cannot sell oil, everybody is happy. Okay, so what happened? Now they want to punish one community. Now even oil in the United States now not only is cheap, they have to give some money to buyers just to get it for free. So I'm saying that the poverty in our neighborhood, poverty in the world is just amazing. And Imam al-Mujtaba is the one who used to give up whatever he had for the poor. So I think that when we talk about birthday of Imam, we should talk about our responsibility and our understanding of Ahlul Bayt. They were madloom, you are right. They were suffering. They were under so much pain and pressure and injustice. But alhamdulillah that we are blessed to, despite of all this propaganda, we finally found the truth of the family of our Holy Prophet, and we showed our love to them. But it's not enough just to say it, we have to do it. Said Khalil, I think you had something to say. Please go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Sayyid in regard to the, those who are not familiar with the treaty. What did the treaty entail? What are some of the highlights of the treaty, very briefly?
So thank you. Treaty was not a blank page. It was with a specific timeline, benchmark questions was presented and agreed upon from both sides. And based on that, Imam Hassan was ready to take the sulh. The first one is Muawiyah, he has to govern ala kitab at all. Second, Muawiyah should not disturb, or should not go and kill the innocent and madhloomeen, especially those who are followers of Ahlul Bayt, and he did not honor. Third, Muawiyah should stop sab of Imam Ali and Ahlul Bayt. He did not stop. Fourth, Muawiyah should not choose after him anyone to be a Khalifa. Rather, the first choice is Imam Hassan. And if Imam Hassan, for whatever the reason, is not alive, should be Imam Hussein. And so forth. So there was a complete package which agreed between two parties, and with tens of people being as a witness, right? So this was the beginning treaty. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Imam Hassan is Imam Masoom, and he must have known that Muawiyah was not going to carry the treaty, fulfill the treaty. So, logically, why would Imam Hassan agree to the peace?
Thank you. May Allah bless you, brother. Thank you, Jazakumullah, for a beautiful question. This is something eye-opening for all of us. Even there is no need to be a ma'asum to find out the person who is agreeing all of that will not going to honor, right? Any person can predict that, not Imam Ma'asum. Here, the point here is, he is Ma'asum, and he is represented from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not chosen by people. So he has to follow what? Sunnah of Holy Prophet. What Sunnah of Holy Prophet? When noble Prophet of Islam engaged in peace treaty, Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, with mushrikeen, pagan of Mecca, noble Prophet of Islam, he knew that they will not going to honor all those points, yet he engaged. Why? Because when noble Prophet of Islam, he engaged in treaty, he was upper hand. He had the people, those who are ready to attack, in thousands. From the enemy side, only 300 people. When they said that we want to have a sulh, noble Prophet of Islam cannot say that I don't want to have a sulh. And even all those conditions, noble Prophet of Islam, he knew that kuffar and mushrikeen, they don't carry out, but yet he did. So that's why Imam Hassan, he did for a couple of reasons. One, he is peacemaker. If someone comes that I want to make a peace, what's your duty? Second, he was following Kitabullah wa ala sunnati Rasulillah, not with our intellect, not with our prediction. The same question goes that although he knows that Ja'ada will kill him, why he did that? He cannot punish people before they do something.
Sure. Which means,
and we can talk and discuss more, just I'm giving you a core of that.
Simplicity is important these days, specifically when it comes to the youth. Our youth, they're born here, they have a different mindset, and they have a very simple approach to things. If I were to tell my 13-year-old son few things about Imam Hassan in a very simple way that he can understand it in a very brief way, what would I tell him?
Thank you, Jazakumullah. My Imam is not a king, is not a hero, is not someone who did something. No, he is my Imam from a practical life. Uswa, right? This Uswa is what I look up to him for all my aspect of my life. So Imam Hassan is my Imam. Imam Hassan, he lived the life of noble Prophet of Islam, and he was with fuqara and masakin, and he was dealing with the people day and night, and he was able to get this title Tabibun Tawarun Bitibbe from the people. And when he was dealing with the enemies, he was not dealing with the enemies different than with his own people. And he demonstrated his akhlaq more than his ibadats. So Imam Hassan, known in the real world, even back then, even George Jordak, when he wants to write about Imam Hassan, although he is Masihi, he said that if I want to look up to a person from a practical salvation and best life, peaceful life, is I have to look after whom? Hassan al-Mujtaba.
It's a very good point. And if I want to add one point to that regarding your son, because somebody actually asked Imam al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, and رجل سأل الإمام من خير الناس. He said, Imam, can you tell me, in your opinion, who is the best community, or who are the best people in this world? قال عليه السلام خير الناس من ينفع الناس.
Sons.
The best people are the one who are serving people. So if you serve more, you are a better person. To be the best person in the community, you have to be the best servant in the community. So you want to tell your son, said Khalil, that always remember to serve God and to serve people.
Absolutely.
That is what Imam al-Mujtaba alayhi salam did. I mean, he served God in a sense of kana a'badun nas, Imam al-Abidin, Imam al-Zahidin. I mean, he go to Hajj, for example, from Medina to Mecca. It's a long distance. It's 250 miles almost. And he made it 25 times. 25 times during the Hajj from Medina to Mecca, he walked just out of humbleness for Kaaba and out of practicing really the soul of ibadah and the soul of prayer. He suffered himself to practice that humbleness. So that was his relationship with God. But at the same time, he used to serve people and everybody. I mean, usually, you know, a lot of people, they are ready to help their friends or help their family members or help people who are close to them, their neighbors. But this is not what Imam Hassan did. He is friendly not only to his friends, but to his foes, to his enemies. He is helping and supporting not only the people that, you know, they are related, but people who are acting with hatred to Ahlul Bayt. He helped everybody, he support. So simple, another, in addition to what Sayyidina said, that of the qualities and character of Imam Mushtaba is that he said, not only he said it, but what he did, service to God and service to humanity. That goes back to the discussion that the other night we had with Dr. Fraz, we were talking about, and Dr. Fraz was talking about empathy. And Imam Hassan was a great example of empathy that he showed it, that tasamuh, that understanding, that tolerance. You know, one of the things in our world is tolerance. A lot of people, they don't have tolerance because they are racist, because they have prejudice, because they have stereotyping behavior. But we see tasamuh, salam, peace, love, tolerance, and service in the life of Imam Hassan and Ahlul Bayt. So there is really, you know, it's not just one lesson or 10 lessons. Ahlul Bayt, everything that they said, everything that they did, everything that they approved was a lesson for us. But how many people are there to learn? That is the question.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, but we don't want to keep Sayyid too long because it's getting sooner for him to break iftar. You know, any final thoughts, Sayyid? You know, before we ask Imam to end the discussion with a prayer.
Thank you, Jazakumullah. Yes, brother.
I have one comment.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
After Dr. Abidi. تفضلوا Dr. Abidi.
Jazakumullah. Again, I would like to thank all of you, and also I would like to commend House of Wisdom and their services and their great work towards showing the true face of Islam and Muslims, because we know now that because of all this propaganda and all these factory of fabrications going around against us Muslims, we need a positive image. And I would like to commend the House of Wisdom and the leadership and all the people, those working behind the scene to make this happen. May Allah bless all of you, and I pray for all of you. And also, please, please don't forget in your special du'as and prayers in nights of Qadr. So inshallah, we can see a greater mercy and blessings and ni'mat and barakat and rahmat of and maghfirat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
We are
And
more
also,
in need of your dua as well.
Jazakumullah. And also I'd like to thank all those who are watching us. I pray for the best, especially while you're with your families. Make sure that Imam Hassan Mujtaba, with all of these challenges, he was able to keep his family as he could. And there was no even single point that his family was affected. And may Allah bless us. Jazakumullah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dr. Fraz, you had something to say, right?
I wanted to say, Maulana, what you were describing, you were talking about the qualities embedded by and incorporated by the Imam Hassan and Hussein, all the beautiful values. So when you were talking about and enumerating those, it came to my mind immediately Surah, the chapter of Al-Insan, or Ad-Dahr they call it, Surah Al-Insan. And Surah Al-Insan, it's really, for me, it summarizes the best quality for a perfect human being. What it can be better than when we talk about selflessness. What it can be better than what did Fatima and Hassan and Hussein in their fasting, the 3 days.
Yeah.
But it could be more than that. So also Surah Al-Insan, it summarizes all the beautiful qualities of those infallible imams.
Yes. Yeah, indeed, it's more than that. I mean, you're absolutely right. If you, deeply read Quran from different angles, you can see that the great qualities of Ahlul Bayt will be in Quran. And you can see that Quran is a book of psalms, and Ahlul Bayt, the akhlaq, is reflecting and manifestation of the beautiful points which is mentioned in Quran. Whatever you can see in Quran about hilm, taqwa, all these great qualities and all these asma al-husna, you can see that the reflection of that is the imams, and especially Imam Hassan Mujtaba, when we talk and discuss. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Sayyid. Imam, just final notes, and then if you could just close the, please close the segment with a prayer, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Sayyidina. Thank you, Sayyid Khalil, and thank you, Dr. Fraz. And it's a beautiful, beautiful message that Sayyid is saying, that that Quran is Kitab Samit and Ahlul Bayt Kutub al-Natiqa, Imam Hassan, Imam Ali, Kitab al-Natiq. So we have no excuse as Muslims. We have the message, that is the Quran, and we have the model, that is Ahlul Bayt. So there is no excuse that I didn't know that. Allah provided us with the wisdom in the Quran and the way to do it, demonstration of Ahlul Bayt. And really what makes this occasion, the middle of Ramadan, it's beautiful. First of all, it's Ayyamul Bid, that wherever there is no cloud, we can see the moon in the complete form. So Ayyamul Bid, we can see that night is full of light now. We have some cloud probably here, we don't see it, but you have a better view of moon in California, Sayyidina. So we have this, the beauty of light in the middle of the month, and then the beauty of Imam al-Hassan. And you know that this Hassan was the first time that was chosen as a name for a boy in Arabia. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, chose the name Al-Hassan. That was the first time that people started using this name for their sons. And Hassan, as we know, is an Arabic word, means some beautiful. Al-Husn means beauty. Al-Hassan means beautiful. So really, he represents beauty in his akhlaq, as you said, in his message, in his teachings. And Ahlul Bayt are beautiful. He used to dress very beautifully at the time of prayer. And when he was asked that, I mean, it's just a prayer. What is it that you are so careful that after making a wudu or ghusl and all this, you dress like you want to, visit a king? And he used to say, Inna Allah jamilun wa yuhibbul jamal. God is beautiful and he loves beauty. And when he gives us a gift, we have to show it. We have to show it. And Suratul Insan that Dr. Fraz was saying, especially that verse says, وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ. Like that, حُبِّهِ means that although they are hungry, but they have so much hub, so much love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they forget about their own hunger. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. They care for the poor, for the orphans, for the needy. And I hope that the brothers and sisters who are watching us show this hubbullah, love of the Lord, and share in that hard time that people going through hardship and this difficulty and joblessness, whether here in the United States or wherever in the world. Whatever we can do, if you can support a suffering family, please, that is our responsibility, learning from Ahlul Bayt. And as you heard from Sayyid in the beginning, that the House of Wisdom is providing this daily service and daily food. And whoever is able to contribute towards this service, still we have 2 more weeks to do that. So please don't hesitate. Let us share our knowledge. Let us share our food. Let us share our unity. Let us share our empathy and compassion. Let us share our support and love during this holy month of Ramadan. I thank our Sayyidina with his beautiful, beautiful message from California to Detroit, from Detroit to DC, from DC to anywhere in the world, from Beirut to Baghdad, from Syria to Sana'a, everywhere that they are watching this program. May Allah help them end all these wars and terrorism. And as Imam Hassan was the leader of peace, let us pray for peace and justice in this world. And let us end with this famous dua in holy month of Ramadan. بعد الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا علي يا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم أنت الرب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير وهذا شهر عظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور وهو الشهر الذي فرضت صيامه عليه وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خيرا من 1000 شهر فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك من علي بفكاك رغبتي من النار في من تمن عليه وأدخل الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات وتابع بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك على كل شيء قدير برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على
Thank you, Jazakumullah. Wafaqeen. Shukran,
Thank you.
Jazakumullah.
Say our salam to brothers and sisters in California. And
Inshallah.
we appreciate that they let us to share your leadership and your message with our brothers and sisters in Michigan tonight.
It's an honor. In the side note, Hajaga, if you got my message, I'm sending a message for the about what we are doing here. If you can share with me your email, I can send you and give me your feedback, inshallah.
For sure, we appreciate that. We'll do that, inshallah. Okay.
Thank you, Sayyid. Thank you, Dr. Faraz. Thank you, Imam. Thank you, all the listeners and people watching. Good night.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.